Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this Raw review and opinions. We've got so much to get our teeth into. Let's go through the matches, shall we? None of these matches getting a great score from you lot, the community, all of them coming out as goods, and that's probably fair, to be honest. Damage Control against Pure Fusion Collective, good 88%. We know that Pure Fusion Collective dealt with Dakota 3 months ago, but really since then there's not been much of a feud. Damage Control have been trying to get those tag titles recently, so it kind of feels like now that Dakota's come back, we just did this match and they didn't have any chemistry. There wasn't a build for it, even though there is clearly a history there. It just feels like it was thrown together really quickly, like maybe Dakota's return was a surprise or something. I don't know. Perhaps she got cleared quicker than they thought. I'm really not sure, but yeah, we ended up with this match and the chemistry just did not feel like it was quite there. Then we had Kofi against Pete Dunne. This was okay, arguably a little bit better. But again, you know, this is more about Kofi and Xavier than it is Kofi and Pete Dunne. So this got good 92%. Then we had Damian against Ludwig. This was probably the best in-ring match of the show, and you lot did score it that way. Still didn't get into the great range. It was good 97%, but much better, more in line with where we would hope the in-ring action to be, so good 97%. And then there was just no time for the main event. It was just a big mess with women running down and setting up Survivor Series. So Jade, Bianca against Liv, Raquel, you lot scored it good 93%. It's really difficult because I feel like a lot of these matches probably did what they needed to do, but it didn't help this show. It just kind of helped set up where we're going. But this show in isolation, I think, suffered as a result. Lots of interesting backstage segments, lots of groups potentially turning on each other. Great to see the Wyatt Sicks, but there was frustration out there that we see them and they get beaten down, which I understand. Again, we need it for where we're going, but probably a bit of a downer for this show. I gotta tell you, I think this show was pretty mid. Like, the in-ring was pretty mid. The segments kind of set up the future, but like, this was skippable. It felt really skippable. Outside of the Wyatt Sicks thing, just felt pretty skippable. And even the Wyatt Sicks thing, you could skip. But I think it was quite interesting how The Miz set a trap, how Final Testament set a trap. I really did not see that coming. Although I did think The Miz would be forced to join Final Testament because from a numbers point of view, they need him. Carrion, AOP against Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, Rowan, and Uncle Howdy means that they do need that fourth. And I'm guessing that fourth was always going to be The Miz. So kind of looking at that, it felt like he would be forced to join, but didn't expect it to go the way that it went. So I'm feeling like a 5.5 on this. I think it's one of the weaker Raws of the year. If we compare it to some of the other great Raws that we've had this year, I think this show was definitely lacking. And it might have been lacking for a reason, because Jade said it would be better if Ludi had run down, saying the taped shows are now cancelled. Then H beat Ludi. I don't allow him into my show. The show will not be cancelled. I don't know what this means, but Jade, shout out to you, because taped shows, I think, definitely explain why this show maybe felt like it was lacking a bit of star power. I wouldn't be shocked to find out that there were stars saved for next week, the week after, which were being taped, right? That those stars were being saved for those episodes rather than being used on this week's episode. So, yeah, tape shows may have had a factor into why this show came out the way that it did. Alfie said, I liked it, but the ending is just bad. It doesn't make sense how Bianca refuses to help Bayley because she was in Damage Control, but Io gets a free pass. If you ask me, Io did worse than Bayley did to Bianca. She took her title But I love the show. Sorry about the rant. Alfie, you do not need to apologize to me about rants. I have many of them, either here or during live streams, and I wish I didn't have them either, but sometimes when you've got these frustrations, you just can't help but get them out, you know? They eat you up inside. So I would say rant away. If you are really passionate about something, you really believe in something, rant away. You're not the only one to say this as well. The only thing I would say is Io came down to help Bianca. So it would have been good if Bianca had like been stood there and sort of been looking at Io like, oh, I don't like this, you know, or I'm not a fan of this situation. But she did come down to help her. So in that moment, Bianca might have been feeling a bit of warmth to Io because she has helped her. But it would have been good if Bianca had just kind of looked her up and down, been a bit suspicious. I think that could have gone a long way to explaining this situation. And who knows, we might get a backstage segment where they address it next week. I agree, and you're certainly not alone. Other people have said the same. It would be good if they did address that elephant in the room. Gabe said it was pretty good. James said it was good until that beep tag match. Jade Bianca need to lose and break up and start their feud. Al Patata said, I'm a fan of Dakota, so her return felt great. It was fire attire. Kofi and Xavier is really investing. When Sammy stops making sense, we got Seth Rollins. I love that segment. Final Testament is goated. I don't think Howdy laughing and saying, there you are, after getting beat down does anything. It looks stupid when you know he's going to do it. He's still got the goofy attire. What are they waiting for? They're giving the best feud possible, but not fixing his charisma, his aura. Damian versus Ludwig was okay. It was a great main event. I'm feeling more confidence from Jade Bianca since all the defenses. Crowds, great. Show, 8. Overall, the show made me smile. Jay said, women's tag was cool though. Howdy said it was a great show. Priest with solid promos to instill even more doubt in Gunther's mind. You can see the doubt and fear on his face. This will be a good one. Bronson versus Seth round 2 is so exciting. New Day implosion incoming. Can't wait to see what happens with that. Cody's probably going to be the 5th member for Team Roman. And finally, Miz with insane acting skills had me fooled. Same. This was epic. Can't believe how happy I was to see the Wyatt Sicks getting pegged back. There's context. Final Testament getting real heat for the first time and standing tall. Wyatt Sicks will indeed respond. Howdy laughing. Cross confused. I'm praying like mad that this will happen at Survivor Series. It was obviously my favourite part. 7.5. Howdy LFC, thank you. Popco said it was good, solid 8. I'm a little shocked there was no women's IC title announcement. Well, I thought on Friday, Saturday that they would, but then was it Sunday during Unseen? I found out that Michael Cole had mentioned on SmackDown that women's US title will be defended on Raw and SmackDown. And that really changed things then. As soon as I found out that information, then all of a sudden it became a lot less likely that we were going to get an announcement here of a women's IC. I think we still get one day, just not now. Efren said this was taped. Thumbs down. Ken, Wyatt Sicks PR manager, said it absolutely cooked. Amazing build for WarGames. Seth and Bronson continue to give Pierce reasons to become a functioning alcoholic. Wood and Kofi's disconnect breaks my heart. But man, the Wyatts getting demolished was not expected, but made Final Testament look strong. 8 out of 10. Seth said, as weird as this sounds, the Sicks needed this beatdown. In the long run, it will be that much sweeter when they get the upper hand and win. It also puts proper heat on Final Testament. Sam said it was the best Raw of all time. I have never seen anything better. Actually, the best show in WWE history, including the PLEs. Totally fair and unbiased. Thank you for your unbiased feedback, Sam. Appreciate it. Bailey said, I've noticed a lot of people, not in these comments, complaining that Final Testament got the upper hand on the Wyatt Sicks, but they're forgetting that you can't just have them demolish everyone without losing some battles. But WTF happened to Miz's eye? I think it might have been when he got pushed down in the entranceway that it got cut open and he was bleeding. I mean, just to go back to that Wyatt Sicks point, I don't mind them getting beaten down because I completely agree you can't win every battle. You hope they win the wars, but they can't win every battle. And so I don't mind them coming out second best here. I do understand, though, the frustration of people not seeing them for a long time. And then when they finally come back onto TV, they're getting murked. I do understand people being like, oh, my God, come on, man. I really wanted to see these guys. They're so cool. I love, like, you know, their presentation. And now I'm having to watch them get absolutely destroyed. So maybe we could have had them on the show doing, like, some in-ring promos, actually looking pretty cool. And then, you know, then they get beaten down this week rather than just not seeing them. I don't even know the last time we saw them, actually. I think it's been a while, you know. So I do get the frustration. I really do get it, but yeah, they can't win every battle. Mitchell said, I would say it was good, okay. I'm confused with what's going on with the Wyatt Sicks. And that last angle with the women, it just felt like it's Survivor Series. Let's throw a team together. I'm going to go 6. Me and Mitchell are normally quite close, to be honest. I think that mine was, what, a 5.5? Mitchell was a 6. I'd happily meet Mitchell at 5.75. If Mitchell would come down a touch, I would go up a touch. So, yeah, we're normally not a million miles away, and I honestly had not seen Mitchell's comment. Ace X WWE said it was very underwhelming. Q Hicks said, I thought it was a massive scramble. It was chaotic and not in a good way. Even the Wyatt segment was a miss yet again, or a mess yet again. Watson said, is your birthday October 10th? Because you are a 10 out of 10. Ah, Watson, shout out to you. Matt has said the off season is in effect. Carrion was my highlight. I think he and Howdy could have some epic psychological mind games in store for each other. Daniel said it was pretty solid. I'm still not used to the 2-hour format. DJ Exclusive said it was okay. Lexi said, I see Uncle Howdy getting a match against Miz as Carrion is getting beaten by Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy brings out Carrion with blood on his face. Miz looks at the ramp, gets Sister Abigailed by Uncle Howdy, and the rest of the Wyatts go in the ring as Howdy gets the win. So Lexi looking into the future, predicting where this might be going. Briggsy said, I'd say this was the worst Raw of the year. I'm going to say it's like a 4 out of 10. I like the Priest promo and the backstage segments and the development of Final Testament, but overall it felt like a flat show. I don't think that's unfair, Briggsy, to be honest. I'm in agreement with you. I just think there's enough to get me into the 5s. You're in the 4s. I think there's enough to get me into the 5s. But there is no way I'd go above a 6 on this show. Larry said it was nice. Sam said it's been a rough week. Pure Fusion Collective is my GOAT faction. They allowed me to get some sleep for a first time in a bit. Right, I didn't know where he was going there. Struggling for sleep. Check out Pure Fusion Collective, apparently. Janie said it was a good show. I might have dozed off a little in the ad breaks and a bit of Priest versus Kaiser, but that's just due to time zone difference. Other than that, I was very intrigued. I love the Wyatts actually being human. Same. Showing vulnerability. Same. Getting laid out by the Final Testament and Miz. Well, I didn't love it, but I understand why we need it. Carl, shout out to you. Let's go full screen. It was average and confusing. WTF are they doing with Gunther? His booking has been awful since SummerSlam, and the show made him look like nothing but a scared clown. I don't disagree with that. Sheamus was in a fatal 4-way last week, and now suddenly he only cares about the IC title. Also, what was that ending? How did Naomi know that Nia and Tiffany were going to show up? And what was Io out there by herself, helping Bianca and Jade, who she was just feuding with? Love that King Kota is back. Damage Control got the win. That was the best part of the show. Love that Cross, Scarlett, and Miz set the trap for the Wyatt Sicks. I hear you. I like your comment. I agree. It's about an hour too short. That's what I think, says Adam. Gio the Theo said, I thought Raw was okay. I have zero interest in Damian Gunther. Same. The New Day stuff is getting a bit stale and repetitive. I don't disagree, but I think we're just trying to get through to a certain date because we know that 10-year anniversary is like 2 weeks away. So maybe they started all of this a bit too early. Maybe that's because of Odyssey Jones. Maybe if Odyssey Jones hadn't have been in, maybe we would have started this a little later. But yeah, it has been going on for a while. But I'm happy because I know where the end is, or I feel like I know where the end is. Bloodline WarGames match should be 4-on-4. I agree. Oh my God, I feel like I agree with so much that's being said in this video. But I did like Dakota Kai being back. Backstage segments were good. Main event was good. Wyatt Sicks versus Final Testament with Miz segment. So there were some dubs in there as well. Toby said 6. Some real what moment? Oh, okay, your score. I thought you had just cut Wyatt Sicks down to 6. So you're giving it a 6. Some real what moments? Seth only logically back history. Understood the Cross Wyatt's builds. Making Gunther look fearful is weird. Agreed. Braun Sheamus is promising. Io without damage control. Mixed bag. I know there is a character limitation. So I'm guessing like that's why we've cut this down to just keywords. But that a lot of that does make sense. So Toby, shout out to you, buds. Ghost said, I was hoping for more Wyatt Sicks, but I always want more. 7.2. Jang Tae-sang said it was spectacular days. It was so good. So happy seeing the OG Bloodline doing their thing. I knew it would be 5-on-5 at WarGames. The Wyatt Sicks layout blew me off. Seth Cody will be on Team Roman for sure. The ending was fire. We got women's WarGames set up. 10 out of 10. Matthew said good, and I like classic 5-on-5 WarGames matches. We know Owens for the Bloodline and Cody for OTC. I'm guessing that the women's WarGames is 4-on-4, or is that 5-on-5? Well, that one's a mess anyway, so that one you can make 5-on-5. So for me, like, I would have done Cody Owens in a singles match. I wouldn't have had them in with the Bloodline. And it doesn't really matter, does it? The women, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, doesn't really make any difference. So I'd probably go 5-on-5 for the women because they're all just chucked together anyway. You might as well chuck another couple in there. The Bloodline one, you know, OG Bloodline, that's what they were. Unless we can get Solo to switch over, like anyone we put in that team is, you know, an odd job. This thing was all about family. Sammy wasn't allowed in because he wasn't family. And now we're trying to find someone that's a 5th member. I don't get it. I don't understand. I would not have gone 5-on-5 personally. So Matthew, thank you. Good comment. Alex said, it was an all right Raw. The women's tag team championship match should have ended in a DQ. But by not having Liv getting pinned, which is bad booking, Dominic cooked Finn. I think we could be seeing a women's WarGames teams after tonight. 625, said Alex. Uncle Rebel said, I thought it was pretty good. Matches were decent. It was well-rounded with great segments. Damian Priest roasting Gunther was much needed. Can't get enough of Seth and Reed. New Day are imploding. Bloodline are recruiting. In-ring, the Wyatt Sicks is always fire, even when they're getting beaten down. 7.5. Carter said it was a mid-show. It was one of the weaker shows of the year. OTC said it was okay. I think we have our women's war games between Bianca, Jade, Naomi, maybe Io, Bailey, against Liv, Raquel, Tiffany, Nia. Damian cut Gunther. Wyatt Sicks getting attacked was also shocking, but it increases the excitement for next week's Raw. Everything else was okay. Overall, 6.5. Kayfabe Colt said, Xavier wearing Baron Corbin's shirt backstage made me more sad that he's gone. Wyatt segment made me wish that we had had 2 to 5 more minutes of them a week. Nice to see Kota back in action. New Day split is going to hurt. Perfect time for a Tiffy cash-in, but it was wasted, said Kayfabe Colt. Kiki said 5 out of 4. Anthony said the women's division is strong. Billy said, honestly, I'm just happy that Dakota is back, baby. Grant said it was pretty good. Wasn't a fan of the stuff from SmackDown being shown to fill time. I agree. We've only got 2 hours. Could have squeezed in another match or segment to do with storylines. Drew was supposed to be on the show, but wasn't. So I was disappointed in that. 6.7 out of 10, says Grant. Stonewall said it was a great show. 10.1 out of 10. The Miz is so effed now. And this was sign of the night. Dirty Dom is dumber than a 5th grader. Jay Wyatt, let's go full screen. I think we're running out of time, but we can get to this. I am sick of how WWE are treating the Wyatt Sicks. They already aren't booking them properly with 30-second segments and 0 promos. But what's really annoying me is how they keep putting Bo in a ridiculous wig. If they don't want the dreads anymore, then at least go back to spraying his original hair or forget the grey altogether. And why is his mask now green? Sorry for the rant. You don't need to apologize. But I feel like they're disrespecting Bo and they're disrespecting Bray. I hate this hair as well. I hate it. I think it looks rubbish. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I don't get it. The dreads look so good. But there must be a reason as to why when it comes to physical matches or assaults or something like that, like when he does his promos, he can have the dreads. When he sat on the chair, he can have the dreads. But when he gets in the ring, he has to lose them. And it's got to be something to do with the weight of them, with the mask, or the way they flow when he moves. Or I've got to think there's a reason for it, because I don't think anyone looks at it and thinks it looks better. It doesn't look better. I completely agree. But I think there must be a reason for it. It must be something to do with the weight or the way that they move. Yeah, I don't mind the green mask. The green mask doesn't really bother me, to be honest. I don't hate on that so much. The hair bugs me a lot more. It does bug me a lot more. So yeah, no, rant away, my friend. Rant away. What else we got? We'll get these ones done. So LS Dub said it was below average overall. The matches didn't hit. The ending was super rushed and contrived, setting up a women's WarGames match that doesn't even need to happen. But I love watching the recruitment for the 5th member. That was a ton of fun. It leaves me confused, but intrigued. Batman said it was a good Raw, 7 out of 10. Johnny gives it a 6. Nothing was bad, but I wasn't engaged with most of the show. Wyatt Sicks on TV, Dakota returned, Seth Bronson segments were great. Not sure what's going on with Gunther. He legit looked like a kid who had his candy taken away. I want my Ring General back, not this sad boomer. Women's potential Survivor Series teams don't make any sense. I would rather see Naomi and Bailey team up with Bianca. No complaints though. Io versus Tiffany in a cage will be fun with some cool high-flying spots. More Io on TV is always appreciated. Johnny, thank you. Love the inclusion of sad boomer. And Ramboli said, other than P off at one point, a full 10 out of 10, better be P off than P on, right? Triple H. PQS supports Daze. We always have fun, love, and cookies together. Loved, we all know I'm the real boss. Ramboli, shout out to you. I don't understand 90-odd% of this, but I appreciate 100% of it, so that's the most important thing. And Tajinder said, hey, brother. Oh, I'm so glad I got to that. Raw was excellent. I have a strong feeling Braun will return. Join the Wyatt Sicks. What do you think? I haven't really considered him coming back and going straight into that group, to be honest. I'm not going to rule it out, but nothing's really been teased. So, yeah. And his injury he was not meant to get. So I don't even know if those creative plans would have been in place. But, you know, I fully expect him to work with them. I mean, some of the recent messages felt like he was going to work with them because they'd reached out to him, hadn't they? And they said, when you need us, we will be there. And they even showed a picture of him with Rowan. So I do expect crossover at some point. They may have worked together had he not got injured. And actually, that's a really good point because there's a lot of criticism about the way the Wyatts have been booked. But there's a big indicator that plans drastically changed recently with Braun's injury. So there's nothing that's telling me that he's going to come back. He's going to go straight into the group. But they did reach out to him to let him know when you need us, we're always there. So who knows? We could go down some different creative paths. And that is it. Right, let's have a look at the scores. If we go over here, I'm just going to refresh it, right? So we have had not loads of responses, only 55. In all fairness, it's only been up an hour. But look, it's Good that's in the lead at the moment. So it's quite rare for Good to actually win. I mean, last week Good came out on top, actually. Great. Good one there, but we are going back to the 14th of October. Great. So you can see the vast majority are normally great. So for a show to come out as Goods, but again, quite low. We're going to have to wait and see if it ends that way. But at the moment, it's coming out as Good 96%. Only 4% said it was bad. So, yeah, there we go. A little bit of a mixed bag. Few people in the comments really enjoyed it, but at the moment it seems like this show might have just missed its target more than hit. But yeah, we'll see what next week brings. We're gonna have to play a game of avoid the spoilers. Good luck with that. Good luck with that for me as well. But so far so good. I have managed to stay away from them. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what is up next. Obviously, we're back later with NXT. We're back at the end of the week with the Jake Paul fight and SmackDown. And then on Saturday, we've got a big UFC stream. So thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.